Richard, a second trip of two down here in the West Country, a game against Yeovil Town this afternoon and another tough one.
Yeah, look, they're all difficult, you know. You look at Yeovil's results, and although they're not in a good place in the table, they're competitive in every game that they play, and you know they've come back from two down twice at home here already this season. Recently against Dagenham to 2-2, and earlier in the season to come back and win 3-2 against Luton. So, you know, they are competitive. They keep going. I'm sure Paul probably thinks he needs a bit more, but you know, at the end of the day, you can only work with what you've got, and I think they're working extremely hard to be as competitive as they are.
You've mentioned working extremely hard. Just going back to Wednesday night, that was something you certainly did against Exeter City. You just didn't quite work out on the evening. What do you think you have to do slightly differently on Saturday?
Well, we just need to play with a bit more quality at the right time. You know, we're nothing wrong with the effort or the attitude that we approached the game with, but we just couldn't find the right quality in the final third, and that's a bit disappointing with what we've got in the team. But it happens. You know, I read Paul's comments after the game, and you know, he's right. His team worked extremely hard, as we did, and he felt that they probably got the bounce of the ball, which they don't get too often, and probably, you know, he's right in that respect. You know, you watch the game back, and you know, there's a lot of things going on in and around that penalty box that just doesn't fall the right way, and some days it's like that.
In terms of the 2 days since then, what we managed to get up to and prepare for this game?
Well, Thursday was very much a day where we did a bit of work in the pool, and the others worked harder in the gym, and we let them have a walk around Exeter. I think it's important that you give them some time together. You know, obviously disappointed. We come down here to get a real good points total this week, but we've taken nothing from the first game. And then yesterday we had a real bright training session and drove up to Taunton, and now we're ready for the game today.
In terms of the game itself, what type of game do you expect from Yeovil?
Well, I think it's going to be fierce. You know, I think you know, any team in their position are going to be fighting, you know, like as hard as they can to get themselves out of it. So it's going to be fierce. You know, it's wet. You know, the pitch is going to be wet. It looks as though the weather's going to be heavy rain. So, you know, it's going to be a bit of a slog, but we've got to come through it.
You obviously travelled down with a group of 20 players. What's the situation health-wise with them? Have they all come through the game?
Yeah,
fine?
everybody's fine. Yeah, no problem.
And in terms of everybody at home, just sort of keep a finger on the pulse in terms of how their recovery is continuing.
Well, I mean, the truth is they're another week further down the line, you know. And today sees Roberts' third game in his suspension period finish. So the rest are another week closer. Don't expect them to have them back in the next week or two, but they're getting better.
A result in the performance, then I guess the aim travelling back this evening.
Yeah, look, it's always the aim. I think, you know, I think we know what's happened to us in this first period. We haven't, you know, people every season people set out to start the season really strongly, and if you start the season strongly, you want to stay there, you know. But there's always a group of teams that come out of the pack late on, and the start that we've had, the problems that we've had, are going to mean that if we're going to challenge, we're going to have to be one of those teams. So in the short term, it's about just keeping ourselves close enough, higher than where we are, you know, probably top half of the table. So it's step by step, and then need to really set ourselves a target after Christmas that we think we need to get us up there in and around it, because sometimes the things that happen to you in the season dictates that.